I am not a Negro, black, colored, African American. I'm a Moorish American. Peace.
Yeah. Hey, 5 on the right, 2 on the left, man. You know what time it is. Yo. We just Moors in America, soared through the shores and endured criminal acts of war on our character. 7 years after the 4th score, no reward. Shout out to the most courageous, they was jumping over barriers. Where does that compare to you? We come from a place where you scared to visit our area. We come from a place where it's scary for good Samaritans. Heavy luggage we carrying, babies having babies. It's crazy being American. Praise the one and only Allah, there's no comparison. La ilaha illa Allah, body and buried gin. Laughing at you clowns like ha-ha, dodging the Nephilim. Conquer lower self with the high, follow your regimen. Way before they came we were gods and now we specimen. Tried to take the light from our eyes, thank God for Edison. Then they put the wool on our eyes, it's so embarrassing. Now we travel frequently, we should invest in Sheraton. All of us got gold on our bodies whenever we stepping in. Screaming Ramadan, Mubarak, training the flesh again. Wishing we could move as a unit just like the Mexicans. Dodging all the foods with estrogen, synthetic medicines. All sin isn't devilish. Sometimes the decisions that you make come for a better gift. Sometimes when you sin is to relate to all your brethren. Heavenly gates all in our face, we the champions. We live in the sky, we see the angels on the chariots. Waiting on the $20 bill, face a Harriet. I bet you I'ma carry it. I'm in love with music to the point I wanna marry it. But my love for people is greater, so I write messages. Largest spending power, but we still sit at a deficit. Living amongst prejudice, even at our residence. Moors in America, flourishing, excellent. Let's buy up some neighborhoods and groom our own president. Yeah. And I come to you today with all intentions of spreading love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Peace, everybody. Want to say peace to all the Moors here. Everybody watching, please hit that like and share button. You help to spread this, to get this out. Not dependent on the algorithms or AI or any of that stuff to inform the people. So it's up to you to hit that like and share button, help get this out. We're speaking with Brother T. Mitchell, Grand Govenor out of California, the California area, territory. If you are out there in that area, in that region, make sure you reach out to that brother. His information is in the video description. So make sure you come back here and get that brother's information so you can reach out to him. And but today, I'm speaking with the brother. But before I discuss this, I want to make sure that I rise, giving the highest praise to the Most High, our Father God Allah, our sustainer, our creator. I extend honors to our divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali, for bringing us our divine creed and our nationality, so that we may learn to love instead of hate. Also extend honors to the forerunner, our brother Marcus Mosiah Garvey, for preparing the way for our prophet. And I extend honors to all the AW Sheiks and all the faithful Moors that make up the Moorish divine and national movement. All members of the Moorish Science Temple of America and all the faithful Muslims out there, period. I extend honors also to the first appointed Supreme Grand Sheik, Brother E. Millie Ill, and also extend honors to all of the light bringers out there, period, regardless of religion, creed, or whatever. All light bringers. You're in for a treat. You're definitely going to enjoy this. Good evening, everyone. Listening to the True and Living Light Bringer. Moors in America. As always, I'm your brother, Floyd Douglas L., also known as Sharif Ali. Here, we are uncovering and bringing glorious light to all issues pertinent to the Moorish American paradigm. That's what we do here on this podcast, if you know, as Moorish America. So hopefully you're having a great time. If you wouldn't mind, please share this on your favorite social media platform. Make sure you tag everybody and share it. So when we come back, we're going to expand further on the topic. You see there, it's talking about the sacred obligation. Brother wrote a masterful essay on this topic. So you definitely don't want to miss this. This is going to be great. Hit the like and the share button, and here we go. Let's just go ahead and get it in. Wow, I apologize, Morris. I did not realize we were on mute there. I am so sorry about that, but you know what? We're here now. While we're here, I'm going to rise and give the highest praise to the Most High, our Father God Allah. I'm going to extend honors out to our divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali, and also extending honors to the forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. While we're here, we're just going to extend honors to all the faithful Moors out there, all ADEP Sheiks, all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And you know what? We're just going to give honors to all light bringers out there. All the light bringers out there watching this right now. Hopefully you hit the like and share button. If you haven't done so, make sure you do that. We are not dependent on the algorithm over here. We don't depend on AI, Google, YouTube, Facebook, any of that stuff to help promote this. So this, if people see it, it's because you shared it. Right? If people see it, it's because you tagged people in this. Make sure you hit like and share and tag this. I'm speaking with the Sheik, brother T. Mitchell L. out of California. He's the Grand Governor of California. So if you are anywhere out there in the California area, California territory, even the neighboring states, make sure you reach out to that brother. His information is in the video description. So you can reach out to him later on, watch the video, come back, get his info out the description. Reach out to him if you are out there in that area, especially if you're looking to join Proclaiming Nationality. And going to be speaking about the sacred obligation. His brother wrote a masterful essay on the topic. And so this is what we're going to be discussing. So everybody, you don't want to miss this. Make sure you hit the like and share button. Just in case you don't know, though, you are listening to the True and Living Light Bringer Moors in America. As always, I'm your brother Lloyd Douglas, also known as Sharif Ali. Here on Moors in America, we're uncovering and bringing glorious light to all issues pertinent to the Moorish American paradigm, because that's what we do here on this broadcast known as Moors in America. So if you wouldn't mind, please share this on your favorite social media platform. Please tag people. Just share it with everybody. And we're going to go ahead and go in, and you're going to enjoy this piece for us. Let's go ahead and start it up. Islam Moors. Today we are speaking with our brother T. Mitchell L., Sheik and Grand Governor out of California, the Bay Area. This brother is doing a lot of great work. He's an educator. This brother is an amazing person. He's a great person, amazing personality, and a great leader. And it is my honor and pleasure to be speaking with him today and to share some of the great work or some of the great works that he is doing out there in the Bay Area, and also to answer some of the questions that some of you may have had about what to do, for the fellow Moors, for the fellow Asiatics out there in the West Coast. So we're going to go ahead and bring this brother on here today. Brother T. Mitchell L., how are you doing, brother?
Praise Allah, honors to his prophet. We doing well, Mo. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Peace and love.
Islam, brother. Peace and love. Yeah, it's definitely a pleasure to have you on here. This brother, T. Mitchell L., man, I can't brag on this brother enough, man. He has over 20 years experience as an educator in California schools. The brother's from the Bay Area, Richmond, California, which, brother, I've actually stayed out in that area for a little bit of time myself, man. The Bay is an amazing place. For those who've never been out there, man, the culture out there, you guys have a dynamic culture. It's amazing. This brother, as I said, man, he's been an educator for 2 decades, right? Certified tutor and supplemental instructor with the College Reading and Learning Association. This brother also went to San Francisco State University. He studied under a well-renowned scholar, Brother Theophile Obenga. This is one of the world's greatest scholars, based on the works of his 1974 United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Conference. And once again, just saying, this brother has continued his legacy of scholarship under Obenga's instruction and also began studying the dialogues of Plato. He's written several essays. He's actually put out a lot of work out there and also been published in the Imhotep magazine. That's a scholarly journal that promotes advanced scholarship. And so once again, it's just a pleasure to have this brother on here today. We want to pick his brains about just the educational system and how we can educate ourselves, our nation, and just see, what expertise he could share with us. But also, we have some other things that we want to speak on as well. It's very important. So once again, just brother, it's my pleasure to have you on. And please tell us a little bit more about yourself, brother.
Gratitude, Mo, and I thank you for that powerful intro, man. I wish I could hire you as my publicist for that one, you know what I mean, man? But it's a beautiful thing. Well, that's my educational bio that you just read. Everything is pretty much outlined in that. Like you said, my name is Brother T. Mitchell L., born and raised in Richmond, California. Also lived in Los Angeles for a while. One of my main passions is teaching language arts and also mathematics, because we have to always realize that the Moorish Science Temple of America is the everlasting temple that can be traced back to the temples of Saqqara and Heliopolis back in ancient Egypt. So at the end of the day, the Moorish Science Temple of America is the oldest school on earth. You know what I mean? Because everybody went to Kemet and studied, and what the prophet brought us is that old time religion, that everlasting temple. Like I say, when I was in school, you read in my bio, I studied under a brother named Dr. Theophile Obenga, which was the right-hand man to Sheik T. So I'm most proud of that, to be a part of that great scholarship. If anyone knows about Diop or Obenga, they went to the UNESCO conference in 1974, and without a shadow of doubt, they proved that the ancient Egyptian people were melanated people, because that had been under a lot of debate in that time, and it's still under debate today. But I'm just so proud to sit at their footstool and learn how to read and write the hieroglyphics, also known as the Meta Neter. He introduced us to African philosophy. In fact, Obenga was the one that taught us about Marcus Garvey's School of African Philosophy. And so after he taught us that, we wanted to re-resurrect the School of African Philosophy and keep it live and well, and also marry and bring the teachings of Marcus Garvey and the Prophet Noble Drew Ali together, because as the Prophet tells us, Marcus Garvey plays the role as John the Baptist in this era and time. He's the forerunner. So we just want to take the curriculum and at this hour create culturally relevant curriculum for our children, because maybe it's been said, I don't watch the internet that tough, but I just want to remind people that this is the year 2074. If my mathematics is not mistaken, this is the 70th year anniversary of Brown versus Board of Education. So I'm writing a book called Scholastic State of Emergency, just to analyze where our children are across America after 70 years of Brown versus Board of Education. So as you see, education is my first passion, but then writing poetry and writing essays is also my love as well. So I'm writing on a couple of books right now. I'm writing a book about civics and law from a Moorish perspective, and I'm also writing a book of poetry. At that, I'll yield the floor for a minute. Islam.
Islam, brother, that's definitely powerful, and gratitude for sharing. I'm definitely want to come back to what you were saying about the books you're writing and about the poetry. But first, I want to just ask some questions and speak about the topic of education, right? So in just with your experience in education, what would you say what advice would you have for us, for the Moors, the brothers and sisters out there, you know, they have families raising your children out here, many of us, you know, children in the public school system, for a practical way for us to start to re-educate our children, you know, incorporating their own culture into their education, right?
Absolutely, Mo. And so that's one of the things we're doing right now out on this end. We're starting a educational consulting service so that we can advise parents on the proper way to educate their children. Now, here's the thing, Mo. Out here in the town where I live in Richmond, California, there's some people, and it's on the books in the school district right now to start a quote unquote, excuse my language, I'm gonna have to use a few bad words on the line, so y'all excuse my bad language. They want to start an all African American school, Mo. You know what I mean? And so they have the money and they're probably going to start an all African American school. But I had my children in the class and I asked them, did they want an all African American school? And they said no. And that was pretty shocking because I thought they would say, yeah, because to get a chance to learn all about themselves, they said no, because they still want to be in the mainstream school with Europeans so they can better understand the system and learn how they operate firsthand. I thought that was interesting for a bunch of ninth graders to come with that response, right? But going back to your question, what we're doing more is we're designing culturally relevant curriculum, and we're going to be able to utilize the Moorish Science Temple of America as a way for people to tap in with the temple and get culturally relevant curriculum for their children in language, arts, and mathematics. Just to let you know, back here, if anybody has heard of the term Ebonics, it was a big thing back in like the late 1990s when they was trying to get Ebonics into the Oakland schools. So one of my professors, or one of my scholars, one of my teachers, Dr. Ernie Smith, in 1972, he coined the term Ebonics. He made that up, Ebony Sounds. So I've studied linguistics under Dr. Ernie Smith. You can look up his name. So with this tutelage of all these great scholars, more in my room right now, I just turned 54 years old, and I just talked to one of my older Moors out of Philly. He 80 years old, and he told us, he said, Moor, I need y'all to step up and use y'all voice more. He said, I know y'all don't like the internet and y'all don't like to be seen that much, but you got to use your voice more because it's pure folly what a lot of Moors are putting out there, because I don't even recognize the temple at this stage. And he told me to come up here and give the Moorish Science Temple a facelift. You know, you might not want to see my face, but I'm here to give it a facelift, hey, without the plastic surgery. You know what I mean?
Islam.
But going back to your question, Mo, look, I design culturally relevant curriculum, and I'm in the process of licensing it. So if you want algebra, if you want trigonometry, geometry, if you want calculus, if you want history, you want language arts. I talked about Ebonics because we look at Ebonics, though, because a lot of the rules in grammar in English just don't coincide with our children. For example, because I'm a linguist too, Paul. So let me just drop this on you. So when we're dealing with language, the English language, there's some interference when you're going from one language to another. Is called interference reflexification, and transformation. So there's certain sounds that certain people can't make. For example, if you have some of my Russian friends, I know a few Russian friends, Russians can't make the R sound in English. So when they say Robert Redford, they say Robert Redford. They use the V sound. Robert Redford. It sounds like that, right? So now let me show you this, how we do. When we are so-called Negroes colors, African Americans, but Moorish Americans have a hard time pronouncing the theta sound. So a lot of Moorish Americans have a problem with demonstrative pronouns. So I have about 20 areas in linguistics where we have struggles with. And one of the struggles is demonstrative pronouns. Now, demonstrative pronouns, that's this, that, these, and those. So theta sound is the, this, that, these, and those. You can't see my face, but I have to fix my face to say that properly, because when I say this, I'm saying this, that, dim, and day. You know what I mean? So the theta sound is replaced with a D. Give me that. Man, I don't even, this right here, man, no, man, give me that, man, this right here, that, man, look at that right there. So when I'm not thinking and fixing my mouth in a proper way to talk proper English, my home language is like, man, give me that, man. There they go right there. There they go. Instead of day, it's day. You know what I mean? So we've identified all of these challenging areas that our children face, especially in the English class, because math is pretty much straight down the board once they get it. But we've identified all these challenging areas that our children go through, and we just have Saturday schools and after school programs to correct some of those. I won't even say errors. It's just some of the nuances that we have to fit into English, but we don't call it an error. Islam,
and that's wonderful, brother. And I like that you said that, not correcting the error, because it's just like, okay, well, if you are speaking English, you know, as you were saying, like, you know, you could pronounce the TH sounds and things like that, and you could speak to somebody from Ghana or somewhere else who's just learning basic English. You know what I'm saying? And they may not be able to understand us when we're talking fast and we have our regional dialects and things like that in there. So it definitely understand that. And I think, you know, what you were saying about having schools on, you know, Saturdays or certain days, that makes a lot of sense too, because I know growing up, I knew some people that were Asian, and they would, whether Chinese or Korean, they would go to different school, like after school, and they didn't even go every day, you know? And then I know, like, living in Florida for a while, the Jewish community there, they had their own schools, you know, for their children to go to, like their own high schools and everything. They even had a Torah school.
absolutely. See, and you write on it more, and this is why we're starting something called the Moorish Heritage School, because a lot of my beautiful Asian friends, they have the Asian Heritage School, and a lot of my beautiful Jewish friends, they have the Jewish Heritage School. You know, so different nationalities have a heritage school so that they can reinforce their cultural nuances once it's the after school program or either on Saturday. You know, I was doing some research about Kemet the other day, Mo, and they had something called the Sabbath school way back in the day, right? I said, man, they call it the Sabbath school, but that's Saturday school in the modern day era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we got to get back to really educating our own, Mo. I mean, I also agree to keep our children in the public schools, but then we advocate for the Sabbath school or the Sabbath school or Saturday schools, you know, because we really have to understand that we need to know the nuances of American history and American culture. Because one of the most important things that they teach in English class is American culture. We could never forget that American culture is based on romanticism.
Islam.
Once again, American culture is based on something that they call dark romanticism. One of the coldest writers from their perspective in American history is the boy named Edgar Allan Poe. You know what I mean? And Edgar Allan Poe wrote dark romanticism. Now, if you look at the word dark romanticism, you know the root word of that is Roman.
Right.
You feel me? So I'm not mad at them, because still in America today, you look at the highest thinkers in America, most of them went through a Greek fraternal organization when they was on that college campus. You think of the highest thinkers in the Negro African-American community, most of those people went through, not all, but most of them went through a Greek-lettered organization. So Greek and Roman culture, what it is to what Greek, this is what Dr. Theodore Binga taught us, what Greek and Roman culture is to the Europeans is what ancient Kemetic culture and Moorish science has to be to us today.
Islam.
And so a lot of our people in the modern era, we're not drawn on ancient Kemet. We're not drawn on the Moorish beautiful history. You know what I mean? It's ironic, Mo, when I was growing up, the history books for me started in 1492. So I wanted to know, man, what was going on in 1491, though? If they starting here, what was going on in 1491?
Exactly.
And
Yes.
so when we start to go back in history, we start to see beautiful things. So this is what I did, Mo. They pushing this thing right now because we're gonna be on education for a minute. It's called the 1619 Project, right?
Right.
And the 1619 Project is giving honors to Moors that first stepped off that boat in Virginia. You know what I mean? Jamestown, Virginia. 1619, there were 20 Negroes that got off the boat that first landed here, right?
Yes.
And pardon yourself for a minute more, pardon yourself. Yes, Mark.
Islam Moors, we getting into this build. We'll be right back. Oh, here comes the brother. Islam brother, I need you. Okay, you good. I was about to say you need
Here you go.
All right, we can hear you.
Okay, but that's my sister. I get excited when I see my family. I'm over at my mama house right now, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was saying that the 1619 project, right, is something that they're pushing right now. That 1619 project is very cool, but also deceptive. We want to give honors to our brother E. Franklin Frazier, John Hope Franklin, and others that were the pioneers of the 1619 project. But that 1619 project only documents the first so-called Africans that landed in the U.S. colonies or Jamestown, Virginia. It was only 20 on that boat, but we already know my mama and them from Louisiana. It was many people outside of those 13 colonies also already here on the shores of North America, also in Central and South America and everything, but they still want to talk about the 1619 project and us first landing in that hour. But that's a total fallacy. So I'm creating a show, Bo. It's called the Red, Black, and Green Time Machine before 1619. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going in like that, Mo. So I just want to thank you for allowing me to have my internet debut. This is my internet debut, Mo, but I plan on coming on the internet a little bit more and just let my opinion be known. Not even my opinion, because I don't have opinion, it's actual facts. My arm is being twisted by elders and young people. They tell me, man, get on out there. But I just don't like being on the YouTube like that, because I was taught not to be a lecture. I was taught not to be a lecture circuit radical or an armchair philosopher, because African philosophy is boots on the ground. So I'm usually in the neighborhood teaching children, man. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the beautiful ones ain't even born yet that's going to bring more science. The ones that's going to really bring more science to fruition, they ain't even born yet. So I'm trying to teach the Moors that's alive how to have love, to love each other, because that love is going to bring these beautiful Marcus babies that ain't even here yet. And that's when we're going to see the profit and the fruition of our movement, Islam.
Islam, brother. And yeah, definitely by raising the vibration, increasing the mind state that we have and that the children have, the children, as you saying, the next generation that they create out of that higher mind state, yes, they will be able to bring that into fruition. So, it's of the utmost importance that we get out here and do this now. And even with this internet thing, that's a whole part of putting the boots on the ground, because you can reach so many people. Just want to share something briefly. When way back in the day when I was in college, man, I was taking a class. It was astronomy class, and the brother that was teaching the class, he was an Asiatic man. He was a Hindu brother. He was from India, and when he was teaching the astronomy class, all of the people like Copernicus and all of those people are, of course, of European descent. Like you were saying before, when we're taught, you know, from a Roman perspective. It's all Greeks and Romans. And so he made sure, you know, to say, well, yeah, Copernicus did this or Newton did this, but 500 or 700 or even 1,000 something years before that, and he's listing this Indian person's name who already cataloged all this stuff. And you know, and it was amazing. I was, you know, watching it like, wow, you know, that's cool, you know. And that's what we need to be able to do for ourselves, for our brothers and sisters, and you know, for our children, grandchildren, to be able to teach this from our perspective, so that they can get that pride and learning, and also that shifts the mindset, knowing it, you know, what your people have done, and letting you know what you can do, maybe even greater things. So, you know, yeah, I think that's of importance, man. We have to get that done.
Mo, like I say, you know, I'm many things, man, but the thing I'm most proud about myself is to be I've been called a master teacher and an educator. So let's talk about astronomy, and let's talk about the oldest zodiac on the planet, which is called the Dendera zodiac, right? You're going to find that in Dendera. And when you look at this Dendera zodiac, Mo, you're going to see the whole, what we look at called the zodiac sign, but it's all in meta nature as opposed to the symbols that we see today. There are often in Greek, you know what I mean? And when we look at this Dendera zodiac, Mo, I had to start reading it, and with the Dendera zodiac, I got to start practicing because my meta nature is off a little bit. But with that Dendera zodiac, I could read the future, Mo. It's magic though, almost, you know what I mean? So I need more people, because when a brother's studying by himself, he get lonely and bored. We need study groups and teams, because we can teach people how to write the meta nature, and you can look in that Dendera zodiac and read the future, Mo, because time never was when man was not. It's just cycle ages or whatnot. You feel me? So dig this also, Mo. Here we are in 2024, which is also a leap year. It's a leap year this year, Mo, you know what I mean? And it's going to be a solar eclipse, I think, on April 9th, a total solar eclipse over North America. So check for that. So I'm just trying to say this, that there's symbols and signs for the conscious minds, this being a leap year, you know what I mean? To correct that 365 and 1/4, that extra 29th day that we just had in February, balanced it out this year, right? And it's also an election year. And it's also 2024, which is about to be 2025. Now, when we deal with astronomy, we know we have various years in ancient Kemet. We had a 365-day and 1/4 year, you know what I mean? And the leap year balances out every 4 years. But then in ancient Kemet, they also have something called the great year that happens every 25,000 years. See, we got a different clock. Our clock happens every 25,000 years when the clock strikes 12. So in this year, when it going into 2025, Mo, the clock about to strike 12, Mo, and a lot of people ain't gonna be ready for the. See, there's a lot of energy going on in the universe right now, and people are getting weird and they're a little off balance because they're not in tune to the cosmic vibration of the universe, and the magnetic poles are shifting and the meridians are changing. So if we don't change and have balance with that, we might feel a little thrown off, a little unanxious. People might be having anxiety right now and not really knowing, why do I feel this way? Because the universe is shifting. Even in the universe right now, we are leaving the age of a Pisces and going to Aquarius. Now, you know when that happens, Mo? When it happens in the universe, the scepter of power is shifted, because it's the cerebrum and the cherubim. So every zodiac, like in Pisces, it was a seraphim and cherubim ruling Pisces. Now that we going into Aquarius, they changing the scepter of power, and they passing the scepter to a cerebrum and the cherubim. So there's a whole new energy taking place right now, Mo. Now I teach, so we're not going to get too long-winded, because I teach to be. Hey, if y'all want to hear some more, come to the temple.
Mo.
Come to the temple if you want. I'm gonna stop right now. If you want to hear more, come to the temple, Mo Islam.
You spitting that holy breath, brother. And
that's it.
Speaking on that great cycle, we measure time by cycle ages.
Yes, sir.
We have to get out there and teach this, you know, on the highways and byways, because all of these things are happening. And, you know, for the most part, our people right there in the dark, they don't perceive it. So this is something that, you know, in our Holy Quran, it said we measure time by cycle ages. So this is what our forefathers and foremothers did. So it's time for us to return back to that, right? Like you were saying, we're at the gate to another age.
Yes, sir.
Let's know what's going on, you know,
yes, sir.
Take advantage and
hey,
Go ahead, brother.
Hey, dig this more. So I got a cold book, and guess what year this book talks about when the cycle age start changing from out of Pisces into Aquarius? Guess what year they document, Mo?
What year?
1913.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nothing is luck, coincidence, or chance, and people don't understand what our prophet brought us, man. There's a lot of Moors don't even acknowledge him as a prophet. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's going on with those Moors, but you know, we here just to set the record straight and to put the prophet out front, man. I'm not a gangster. I'm not a gangbanger. I'm just a regular old dude from Richmond, California. You know what I mean? Some people might even call me square, but I'm sharp on all corners in America. You know what I mean?
Islam, brother. What's the name of that book, man? The prophet truly was prepared in divine time. But what's the name of that book?
So this book that I'm telling you about right now that I just quoted on is called The Mystery of 2012, right? Because you remember in 2012, they was talking about the great shift and the cosmic this and that, and some people thought the earth was going to end. So now the Gregorian calendar is 13 years off though, Mo. So it wasn't 2012, it's 2025. So get prepared. Y'all better fasten y'all seatbelts, man.
Islam, brother. That's powerful. And
The Gregorian calendar is 13 years off about Islam.
Islam, and for the Moors that didn't catch that, you need to get in the temple. Go to your temple meetings, man. You ought to know. We ought to. Every last one of us should know what occurred in 1913 and why that is significant. So let's go ahead and move things forward, Moors. I'm gonna just drop those tidbits for you. Make sure you get your butt to the temple. So brother, I wanted to speak to you now. You have an essay. You're speaking about the importance of voting.
Yes,
and it's
sir.
just something that so there may be a lot of confusion out here about it. A lot of our people just in general, I think are frustrated with the voting process, maybe not really seeing it doing any good in our communities, so they're not really seeing how it could be utilized to our benefit, and so I think this is a great time then to speak about your essay on the sacred obligation and just to segue into that topic. So
Yes,
let's
sir.
go ahead and bring that up here on the screen, brother. And if you would please share more with us. Let us know what this sacred obligation is about and what inspired you to write this.
Islam. So if you read the Moorish literature, I just want to give a shout out to my beloved brothers out of Texas, you know what I mean, for coming with that beautiful edition of the Moorish literature. I love y'all. I don't know if y'all feel comfortable with me saying y'all names, so I'm gonna just say Texas, because I'm not gonna put nobody name on blast without they get permission to say their name. But I love you, Texas. If you look at the Moorish literature, it'll tell you that there's the Moorish Science Temple of America has a purpose, and the Moorish Divine and National Movement has a purpose. The Moorish Science Temple of America is designed to promote the sacred obligation. The Moorish Divine and National Movement is designed to unite the Asiatic states of North America. So with this particular demonstration is called the sacred obligation, is more on the Moorish Science Temple of America side. Now, let me say this more because my mother is upstairs. I'm at my mother's house. My sister just came in. My mother's having some, we praying for my mother. We giving my mother some support today. But to make a long story shorter, my mother, I'm from the Bay Area, so my mother was a Panther, man. She was a real card holder, man. She really had that Panther thing. So I come up around Panthers, man, who were very revolutionary. So I was brought up like that. And I was taught about voting, that the best participation is non-participation. For a lot of times, I didn't even vote before I came into the Moorish Science Temple of America. And when I first came into the temple, I was so radical when Moors were preaching about voting. I thought they were sellouts and Uncle Toms until I read what the prophet said, you know what I mean? And so those Moors who I was yelling at back in the day, not really listening and just ignorant, because ignorant is having a lack of knowledge. And when they was telling me, the root word of ignorant is to ignore. So I wasn't trying to hear what they were saying because I was already taught from a Panther perspective. But after I started reading the prophet, not only did the prophet make me a better person, I uplifted myself, and I'm a better citizen now, you know what I mean? And some of my radical revolutionary friends call me a sellout because I'm not revolutionary. I'm not talking about the white man no more. I'm not angry. I know about Frantz Fanon's three-stage path of assimilation, disturbance, and cultural revolution. So I went through that myself on some Frantz Fanon business. And if you're a revolutionary, go check that out. But the prophet teaches us to reform. First of all, to reform ourselves and become better individuals. So I knew through the temple, I learned about law. I learned about civics. I started studying the Constitution and became a better individual. So this is a essay that I had to write to myself as an apology to myself for being so ignorant, and to apologize for Moors that I was pushing off because they were pushing the sacred obligation, and I didn't know the importance of voting from a Moorish perspective, though, because a lot of people will tell you, oh no, man, don't vote, you don't need that one, it don't mean nothing, no way. No, if you know how to vote, it means something. You have to know how to vote, because I didn't know how to vote at first until the Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught me Islam. Now, before I go into this thing, Mo, there's a quote at the top, and it says, let me just read this. It says, for there is a nexus between the brutal centuries of colonial slavery and the racial polarization and anxieties of today. The poisonous legacy of legalized oppression based upon the matter of color can never be adequately purged from our society if we act as if slave laws had never existed. So this brother who said that is Brother Leon Higginbotham. A lot of people have never heard of Leon Higginbotham, but Leon Higginbotham, after Thurgood Marshall, is probably the most powerful Black judge in history after Thurgood Marshall. So if you don't know Leon Higginbotham, he's a brother. Look him up. Islam,
brother. Islam. Yeah, gratitude for reading that too as well. And just going back into the sacred obligation too. I've been through to a degree, you know what you were saying too as well, as far as feeling like there's no point in voting, you know, that it ain't really gonna do anything for us. So what advice, because you mentioned something important or something key that people may not have caught, that it's important to understand how to vote. What advice could you share with us so that, people can gain a better understanding of what you mean by that, like the proper way to vote or how to vote?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm going to just paraphrase, because I'm pretty much not going to read this whole essay unless you want to read it, Mo, you know what I mean? But I will paraphrase this particular thing. So this essay, the theme of this essay is basically based on Article 1, Section 2, if I'm not mistaken. Article 1, Section 2 is so significant because that deals with the 3/5. You know what I mean? If anyone knows that at one point in this time, in the structure of the country, in the Constitution, one of the major dilemmas was, how are we going to treat our Negro slaves? How are they going to be counted on the census? Because when you have a certain number of people on the census, those people can be counted as a whole vote, or they was basically made us 3/5 of a vote at that particular time. Because if you would have had one vote per person back then and let the slaves vote, the people in the South would have took it automatically. They would have took every election. So they had to make our people 3/5 of a human. You know what I mean? And so if we know mathematics, 5/5, every 5 Negroes equals 1 vote. That's what it means mathematically. So me going just to register as a Negro, if I just put Negro, Black, colored, African American down, they're gonna register me as 3/5 of a human. But the Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught us how to register to vote. It all comes with the registration to vote. So when you go to register vote, for example, Mo, this is how I did it. It was simple. When I'm walking down the street every day, there's people out there, hey man, do you want to register to vote? They gave me the petition, I filled it out, and I put T Mitchell L on the card, or on his signature thing. When they sent me my voter registration stuff in the mail, it said T Mitchell L. So in the voter registration, I proclaimed my nationality, and they sent me a ballot with T Mitchell L on it, no questions asked. So that is the same thing the Prophet was doing. In his era and time, he was getting people to to cast, they was getting people to register with their L or their Bay. When they registered with their L or Bay, they were considered a whole person as opposed to a 3/5 fractionized person. So this is the language that's being used in our Constitution. Whole persons, and then a 3/5 person. Whole persons have all rights. Whole persons have status. Whole persons have a nationality. 3/5 of the people have no nationality and they don't get all the rights. For them, voting is only a privilege that was allowed through the 14th Amendment. It was not a privilege. Excuse me, it was a privilege and not a right. So we have to understand that there's a difference between rights and privileges when we look at the law. And so basically looking at the way Noble Drew Ali taught me how to register as a voter. Now I have T. Mitchell L on there. They recognize me as a person with nationality. If you have nationality, nationality determines the two things, your political and your civil status in America. So if you don't have nationality, you have no political status and you have no civil status, which is why the police treat us bad, and why most of our votes get thrown away, and which is why we still have what's my brother's name? The John brother that passed away recently, the congressman.
Conyers.
Huh?
Conyers.
Excuse me?
John Conyers out of Michigan.
Yeah, the one brother that walked
Black Caucus.
Yeah, the brother that walked to Martin Luther King, they have a whole little thing for him right now. You know what I mean? They just passed a law to protect the rights of African Americans, though, right? Because still to this day, in 1965, they opposed the Civil Rights Voting Act, you know what I mean, for our brothers and sisters. So we have to ask ourselves, well, if they passed it in 1965, why are we still complaining in 2023 and 2024 about our privileges or our rights to vote? Now, when we go back in time in the 1920s, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali had over 3,000 voters registered to vote. And at that particular time, I don't know if you've seen that paperwork, Mo, but there's a cold letter that they wrote the Prophet, because the Prophet had them register to vote, and they wrote the Prophet and said, hey, Noble Drew Ali, don't have your people register vote in their L or Bay. Tell them to go back to their Alabama and Mississippi names. You ever seen that, Dromo?
Oh, brother, that's amazing. No, I haven't seen that.
So look, man, it's in the Moorish, it's in the National Database of Literature. But at the time when the Prophet was getting people to cast a free national ballot by using their L's and B's, they wrote a letter to the Prophet, man, and said, hey, man, Prophet, stop telling your people to register in their L or Bay. Tell them to go back to their Alabama and Mississippi names, man. What?
Wow.
That's cold as ice right there, bro.
Yeah. And you see, I mean, the last president to approve the Voters' Right Act for so-called African Americans was George Bush. So
yes,
this
sir.
Still has to be renewed every 20-something years.
It has to be renewed for Negroes, Black, colors, and African Americans who have no status, though. You know what I mean? If you have no nationality, then if you have no nationality, you still could consider 3/5, and you still lightweight under their jurisdiction. You know what I mean? And you don't have your own political status or your own ways to navigate. Of course, you're going to have to keep getting in these privileges, because, see, that's not a right. It's a privilege that has to keep on getting approved year after year. But the Prophet had us voting back in the 1920s, Mo, by just proclaiming your nationality on your free national ballot. And this is what this particular article goes into. It actually goes into Article 1, Section 2, and it talks about various different things, you know what I mean? So here, let me just read this. The Prophet say, anytime a man or woman fails or refuses to cast a sacred ballot at the polls, they separate themselves from all rights of American citizens. This is no less than a political slave, since they refuse to voice their sentiments at the polls. Well, you know what I mean? So I used to be that guy.
Yeah.
However, I was a political slave until I was educated by the Prophet in reading the Constitution. If you go down more, I can go into the Constitution a little bit more and give you some specifics, on what's happening here. And Mo, this thing also talks about the census, though. Let's leave it right there for a minute, Mo. You know what I mean?
Before
We
you
talk about.
go into that, brother, just want to share one thing based off of what you were just saying. Now, with the prophet doing this in the 1920s, are people still having difficulty, still needing special provisions just to exercise a constitutional right, a basic right that everyone has? People, even when they come here from other countries, once they gain citizenship, that not just having a green card, but once they actually get citizenship, now they can vote. Now they can begin to shape the political landscape and get the resources for their community. And I just wanted to share this. Now, I live in Columbus, Ohio, and we have a large Ethiopian and Eritrean and Somalian community here. And so when you go to certain neighborhoods, you'll see like Somalian people out there running for district, different offices, and they come out and they put their people in office so they can secure those resources for their communities. And they do that, and they haven't been here maybe like 20, 30 years, because they did, they have some generations adults has been born here, but they haven't even been here that long. They're able to build and secure those resources for their people, for their community, so that they can thrive.
That they're doing it through a political process that a lot of Moors aren't aware of, and it's called nationality. Now, when those Ethiopians come in here to America, they are now Ethiopian Americans. But then when it comes to that box and it says, what's your nationality? They don't put African or black, they check white, Mo.
Islam.
You know what I mean? Because you know that when we look at white, color, white and black, those don't really designate ethnicity. It designates status, though. So a lot of these Yemenis, a lot of them, even a lot of my Mexican friends, when they register, they telling them that they white, Mo. When I fill out I just got a new job, Mo. They ask me, well, I put in white because I know that white does not mean Caucasian race. If you look in the Black's Law Dictionary, white designates certain areas. Us being from Northwest Africa, it'll tell you that those are the Moors and everything. So when they look at white and black, it has nothing to do with a color crown box and nothing to do with complexion of the skin, man. This is dealing with a status quo, because when we look at the old caste system, we have to realize that we are under a caste system right now when the black is on the bottom and the white is on top, and it has nothing to do with nationality. It has nothing to do with your complexion of your skin, brother.
Islam.
And when we go into this Article 1, Section 2, like I say, maybe, I don't know if you could post this article, but I would love for people to read it. In fact, like I say, this is going to be one of the short essays that's in my forthcoming book called Civics from a Moorish Perspective. But it just describes the difference between voters and electors, because I don't know if people know that if you look at the Constitution, there's a difference between a voter and an elector. That distinction flies over people's heads a lot, because, when it comes to a presidential election, most people are voters, but people, when they vote, they're actually voting for certain electors in their national state. So for this presidential election, the people are casting a ballot, in their particular state, but they're only voting for a certain elector that's going to go sit in that private room in Washington, D.C. and cast the vote for all the Californians.
Yeah. Wow.
That's what an elector is.
Islam.
And so most people don't know if you look at the Constitution real closely, voters and electors are two totally different people, which is why when you look back at George Bush II and you look at Donald Trump, in those elections, the popular vote was outweighed by the electoral vote, by the Electoral College.
Right.
And see, that's what's going on with Trump right now. A little controversy right now is because they're saying allegedly that there were certain electors that weren't voted in legally by their state and were only placed in that room as electors illegally and cast the free national ballot illegally in somebody's favor that it wasn't supposed to go in. That's allegedly. I wasn't in the room, so I can't speak on it, but I do know the controversy is over righteous electors or illegitimate electors, and that's what they're sweating Donald Trump about right now. But let's go back to the electors in the Electoral College would never exist if it wasn't for all them Negroes down in the South in the Electoral College, and we got to make them 3/5 Negroes. You know what I mean? And the question is now, do we still lead the Electoral College now that slavery is gone? Islam.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question too. So one other thing that I wanted to ask just from this essay, right? Now just can you provide some practical advice for different Moors, across the nation as far as what to do, locally, how to get involved politically where you're at, in your town or city? What way to move, or how to begin to empower yourselves?
Absolutely. So locally, this is what we're doing in our realm right now. Just like they get other brothers and just like they get people to register to vote, we're gonna show you what the prophet did. Very strategic. So we have within our temple, and they have it on a national level as well, they have something called it's our membership registration. So when you come in and and we put it double-sided, Mo, and we can share this with other people. So what we have is we have our membership. When people want to first come in and put members, they put all their information. Then on the flip side, we have a voter registration pledge card, which says that basically, okay, this particular member is coming into the temple, and the way the thing is written out, that they're pledging to vote in a block vote, whichever way the temple swings, right? So this is what all Grand Sheiks, Grand Governors, chairmen should be doing in a local community. We can share this form with you. When you sign your members up for membership, also get them to sign that voter registration pledge card, pledging that they are part of the Moorish Temple of America. We vote independently. We don't go Democrat or Republican, but we put our vote out there for the best person that's qualified. At that particular hour, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali had 3,000 members that will vote any way he said. And what that gave him political power, though, because remember, brothers like Oscar DePriest and them was put into office because of those 3,000 votes. Those 3,000 votes changed the whole thing. So we do something called block voting. So all Moors should register to vote in their temple under their Grand Sheik with this paperwork that I'm talking about. And then here's what you can do then, Mo. You can have those membership cards and say you got 3,000 signed membership pledge cards that say we rolling with the temple and we gonna vote any way our Grand Sheik said. You can take those 3,000 documents, you can go to the bank and you can get a loan. And you can say, look, I got these 3,000 votes. I got 3,000 members that pay their dues, and their dues are worth this, this, and that. And you can monetize that and get a loan, Mo.
Islam.
You can also take that, because what I'm saying is nothing illegal, because churches do this all day. They get pledge cards. I got a homeboy, he's a Christian of his church. He told everybody to go home and do a personal inventory assessment on everything you own. So they went into their house and they played the role of the antique assessor. So they said, okay, this table right here, this 500, my TV is 1,000. In fact, they was putting a lot of overs on it, though. They put 2 on 10, you know what I mean? So they was really getting their overs on, but the people came back and said, you know what? I'm worth 300,000. Another dude, I'm worth this and this and that. But they monetized and placed the value on themselves, came back and calculated that as a temple, and they did an assessment, and that's how many assets that particular temple was worth. Now, we don't really take nobody's assets. We don't want to hijack your money. We want everybody to do a self-appraisal on what your value is. You're worth, everybody in America is worth something to us, Mo. You know what I mean? So they can take that assessment and boom, and say that they're worth this amount of money, Mo. Islam. And then that temple and local temples with these voter registration pledge cards, we have assets. We have resources and collateral we're not even looking at. We don't even realize we are the collateral and money we've been looking for, Mo. And all these people looking for all these mysterious trust funds and accounts. Now, I know where some of that money is, but I'm not going to tell these snakes and scorpions, though. You know what I mean? Because they're going to hijack the movement and run off with like hyenas, like they do. You know what I mean? Because we like lions, man. We roll in a pride, though. But then we get the food, and then the hyenas want to come hijack us and laugh in our face. You hear me? Yeah. So we ain't even with them kind of Moors like that, though. But we are for peace, love, and unity. And we do have strategies and plans on how to make it work. But what happens, Mo, few cats come in, they get a little bit of the game. I call them gang gobblers, man. You know, they get a little piece of the truth, run off and start their own thing and mess up the whole movement. And now that's why there's a lot of confusion, simply because Act One, that this dude thinks since he's the Grand Sheik and the chairman or the Grand Sheik or that or both, that he's empowered to make law, enforce law. And he done made a bunch of goofy stuff that don't even coincide with the prophet.
Islam.
I can't roll with that guy. I can't roll with the guy that's quoting chapter 47, talking about we from local temples, we can make our own customs and laws as long as we're under love, truth, peace, free, and justice, and we under our own vine and fig tree. I'm not with the guy that's trying to make his own customs and law in his little cubby hole in his own little state or wherever he at. I'm not with that, because we are home office rule. Of course, every neighborhood, every state, everybody is a little different. We cool, but just stay in tune with the divine constitution bylaws and deal with the home office rule. You know what I mean? Because we all have to realize that what Washington, D.C. is to the United States is what Chicago is to every Moor in the country. And we have to realize as Moors, everything is not going to go perfect, because when we look at the U.S. government, they have random governmental shutdown. I think they're going through a potential government shutdown right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so us as Moors, like right now, I'm gonna speak on our body, Mo, because it's open in public. You know what I mean? Right now, we similar to the U.S. government. Whenever there's whenever there's a governmental shutdown, we got to deal with some internal affairs and get it back together. So that's what our body's pretty much going through right now, based on the folly of people trying to suspend the whole grand body. So I'm not gonna get into that, but you know, we have to see that wars are no different from any other government. So we don't have to feel sad or mad right now, Mo. We just have to know that we're marching on to perfection, but we are in a governmental shutdown trying to get our things back together. I had a Mo tell me the other day, oh, Mitchell L., I saw on the internet that y'all was shut down. Y'all ain't even got no temple no more. I heard that y'all wasn't even operating no more. I said, emphatically now, Cypher Mo, I said, man knows not by being told. You know what I mean? And so that's what's going on, just for the world to know that our body is still up and functional. However, we're going through a process of internal affairs and restructuring, similar to what the U.S. government is doing right now with their potential governmental shutdown. And they done had a few of them in the last couple of years, though. So Moors, whenever you looking at our body right now, you know what I mean? Just know we like any other government in the world, and we do need time to get our things together as well. And I'll say Islam on that.
Islam, brother. And I'm glad you touched on that and spoke so eloquently on that situation. Gratitude, brother. Islam. Yeah. So moving forward, before we move on from this, was there anything else you wanted to share from the essay?
Well, you know, this essay, like, I don't know if you can post it, Mo. I mean, man knows not by being told, so they could read it for themselves, though, because there's a lot going on in this essay, Mo. Like I say, it basically just deals with the how the Constitution was founded, though, and the significant role that our people played in the structure of the Constitution, because they didn't know what they was going to do with us. Like, when you are deciding the president of the United States, the Electoral College plays a most important role, because they didn't know how to count us as a whole person or 3/5. So still to this day, when you have controversy like allegedly like Donald Trump is having over the Electoral College, we have to realize the Electoral College would not exist if it wasn't for us.
Islam.
The whole, and that's what you have to come to the temple, Moors, because I don't have time to explain this all on this call. However, we want to let you know that we got some jewels. We not stingy. It ain't nothing secret over here, like we hide nothing. You know what I mean? So just come. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're not gonna hear that explained anywhere else either. Nobody's telling you to have anything to do with the electoral college.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, the Electoral College wouldn't exist if it wasn't for us. And our people don't even know that because they have unfortunately been victims of American education, which really doesn't give the Moorish perspective. But you have to get that. So when we talk about educating those children, this is what they get at the Saturday school or the after school program. And so we're just giving our perspective on the Constitution. We love the Constitution, think it's a great document and everything. We're just showing you how we fit into the Constitution, because oftentimes people think that we're not written in the Constitution, but we're there. We're there, very much so. And when you look at brothers like Richard Allen, Absalom Jones, Benjamin Banneker, Prince Hall, a lot of these brothers was in Philadelphia at the time when the first Constitutional Convention jumped off, way before they moved it to DC. Them brothers used to be headquartered in Philly.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of history, Moors, whoever's listening, mothers, if you have children, please send them to the temple so we can educate them properly. Please educate Allah's children with equality.
Islam, brother. And definitely, I concur with that. Bring them, come on down there with them, get, so you can get that knowledge too. And yeah, because there's so much that's being left out. Nobody's
Absolutely.
telling you who Crispus Attucks was and why he was the first person that, he was the martyr that set off the revolution. And they're not telling you that Crispus Attucks was a Wampanoag Indian name.
Come on.
Doesn't that name sound funny to you? But yeah, it was a Wampanoag name. So they're not telling you anything. So yeah, come on in and get this actual learning about yourself, who you are. Brother, you also have a book coming out now about poetry. Would you like to read some of your poetry or pull some of this up for the brothers and sisters out there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let me share a story with you though, bro. I'm a poet, right? However, I'm also a difficult individual to deal with. I'm the kind of dude though, like I never owned a pair of Michael Jordans ever in my life. Yes. I ain't never put a pair of Jordans on. Why? Because everybody else wears Jordans. I don't want to be like everybody else.
Yeah.
Because Allah made me special. You couldn't pay me to put on a pair of Jordans, man. I wear Stacey Adams since junior high, man. You know what I mean? So I'm just that kind of guy. My poetry, I stopped doing poetry for a minute because I felt like it was too many goofy people doing poetry. You feel me? I'm the type of guy that truly loves my culture so deeply. If I feel like anybody disrespecting it, I'm just gonna stop and let them have it until they leave it alone, and I'm gonna come back and pick it up. Yeah, man. So I'm a poet, man. If you know, I've spent time with some of the greatest poets in our lifetime or my lifetime. There's one of my favorite poets. His name is Amiri Baraka. May he rest in power forever. Baraka from New Jersey. Formerly known as Leroy Jones back in the 60s. But I spent a lot of time with Baraka in my life. I spent time with Sonia Sanchez. I spent time with some people called the Last Poets. I performed on stage with them as a young guy. You know what I mean? I spent a lot of time with a brother named Marvin X, who's one of the most powerful poets on the planet right now, So I've just been fortunate enough, Mo, to be around a lot of elder icons in our culture. And they started something called the University of Poetry way back in the day, 2000, I think, and I was the first graduate from the University of Poetry, Mo. Wow. Ever. So yeah, poetry is my passion. Now, where I'm at right now, if we go back and read the dialogues of Plato back in the day, the poets and the philosophers didn't really get along with each other, right? So I'm a poet and philosopher in one body, so I don't get along with myself sometimes, right? So here's what's going on right now, Mo. Based on Marcus Garvey, I'm the president of the School of African Philosophy, right? However, the people ain't ready for philosophy yet, so I got to go back to poetry right now. But I don't want to go back, but I have to, Mo, because they not ready. So we have to start at poetry, which is elementary school, and let them graduate to the high school, which is the philosophy. So I'm writing a book of poetry right now, and it's called Critical Trace Theory. Because everybody's talking about critical race theory, but my name is Trace. my government name, my mama named me Trace though, right? So this is not critical race theory. It's called critical trace theory is the next book. I think it's about 20 poems. But my first book was called Ghetto Folklore, right? Because where I'm from, poetry is soft. You know what I mean? And my peoples used to tease me about writing poetry.
Yeah.
You know, because my uncles and them, they street cats, you know, in his voice, when my uncle, he's a pimp. This is how he talks. Oh, you still writing that whole poetry shit, man. I know you ain't writing that poetry no more, man. In his best, that's the best way I could imitate him. So you used to tease me about writing poetry, Mo. You hear that?
Yeah, understand.
So let me share a story with you, Mo. Like growing up where I'm from, education is not always valued. So I remember growing up, Mo, I was smart, but I would dumb down, right? But then one time I messed around and got on the honor roll, Mo. And when you get in the honor roll back in the day, they put your name in the newspaper, Mo. And they published my name in the newspaper for being on the honor roll. Do you know all my friends stopped talking to me in the hood?
Wow.
Yeah, I went from being one of the coolest cats in school to being just not cool no more. And guess what I did? I messed up in school just to fit in, bro, just to get back in with the cool crew. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so this is part of my struggle, part of my plight, part of my challenge, you know, a part of what I see every day for the last 20 years as an educator, that education isn't valued in our community. Just like poetry wasn't valued in our community. And so instead of writing poetry, I had to create a whole new style of writing. And I called this new genre of writing, I called it ghetto folklore.
Islam.
So my first book was called Ghetto Folklore, and that book did kind of well because they used my book and they used my book as the classroom book at San Francisco State and at another college called Laney College. And I was still a student. So when I was a student, Mo, they was teaching. I was a student at the college and they was using my book in the American Renaissance English class, Mo.
Wow. Yeah, that's powerful there. Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Abinga, my teacher, came in there. He said, hey, man, you ain't my student no more. You my colleague, man. I can't even grade you no more. And I was in the class, but that was like a real honor for me to still be a student. And the professors were teaching my book at the San Francisco State University college level, Mo. Almost got a little big-headed, so they had to give me a bunch of humble pills. I got humble pills prescribed to me, Mo, because I lost my mind. You couldn't even talk to me back then. You know what I mean, Mo?
Yeah.
I got a little overzealous as a young man, but more science humbled me back down though. Yeah, so Mo, poetry is one of the, well, I call it poetry, but some people, we call it ghetto folklore. So ghetto folklore was my previous book of poetry and it did real well. In this new book, inshallah, it will do just as well, the same, because I also wrote a book. Oh, let me say that I got to say this though, right here though. I want to give honors to a brother named Dr. Nathan Hare. Dr. Nathan Hare had a wife named Julia Hare. She's passed on. But if y'all ever seen the movie called The Great Debaters, they was on that debating team when they was young. But Dr. Nathan Hare about 90 something now, right? And his wife passed away. But Dr. Nathan Hare in 1968 is the brother that came up with the term ethnic studies. And in 1968, ethnic studies was first taught on San Francisco State's campus. So this brother was the one that came up with the term ethnic studies. And I had the pleasure to write a book with Dr. Nathan Hare and Marvin X, and it's called How to Recover from the Addiction of White Supremacy. Because people think everybody hooked to fentanyl, but everybody in the world is under the influence of white supremacy racism in some way or another, whether it be good or bad. Some people is benefiting from white supremacy racism, some others are not benefiting, but the whole world is under the influence. So white supremacy is the new opiate or drug of the masses. And we talked about that about 10 years ago. So this new book that I'm writing, you know what I mean, is actually, so what we used to do with Europeans, Mo, we used to have how to recover from the addiction of white supremacy classes. Like, so we created a 12-step model similar to drugs and alcohol, but we have a 12-step model on how to recover from the addiction of white supremacy. So you have type 1 white supremacy when Europeans think they better than everybody else. That's type 1. So they suffering too. Type 2 white supremacy is all people of non-European descent think Europeans is better. And so if the European, anytime you say white supremacy, don't know, you already saying on the Hegelian dialectic, you say white supremacy, you saying black inferiority without even saying it though. You feel me?
That's right. You got to put that false doctrine of white supremacy on there at the beginning.
Yeah. And so what I say, Mo, I say the myth of white supremacy. You see that? Because it's a myth. It doesn't exist. So we don't say white supremacy. We say the myth of white supremacy. Like I say, Mo, we wrote a whole book about 10 years ago, and we have had white supremacy detox sessions, man. I gotta send you my essay that I wrote in there, man. It's cold as ice. And to be in that book with Dr. Nathaniel Hare and Marvin X, one of the coldest writers, man, yeah. I feel so honored, you know what I mean, and to be writing with the giants back then. And so it's my duty now that the giants is passing form on going into the next realm. I've been called to come to the front of the line.
Islam.
You know what I mean? Because my thing is like this, Mo. I'm very content reading, writing on my own and being out of people's face and out of their way. However, they twisting my arm, Mo, and they telling me to come and use my voice more in my leadership capacity. You know what I mean? So my job is just to teach the young so that they can take the leadership capacity or whoever wants it, and I can get back to writing and studying because it takes a lot of energy to do that. You know what I mean? And so I'm better behind the scenes, digging up the knowledge, you know what I mean? Because I like to do that. Everybody don't like to read and research like I do, but I love it. So I can write it, hand it off to somebody else and let them promote it. Islam,
brother. And gratitude.
So,
no, go ahead, brother. Please.
Yeah. So critical trace theory is so I got 3 books I'm working on right now. And that's leading to another thing. I want to work with a project with you, Mo. So I got critical trace theory that's finished. I also got derogatory terms of endearment that's finished. And I also wrote a comic book series, Mo. I'm working on comic books now, man.
Wow.
Yeah, because dig this, Mo. We got to get our children, Spider-Man, Thor, all that good stuff is beautiful, you know what I mean? But we have to create images and heroes that look like our children, though. For example, Mo, the myth of white supremacy is not on Earth. It's universal, Mo. You know why it's universal? Because when we look at all the planets are named after Greek gods.
Wow. Yeah.
When you look at all the moons are named after Roman gods. So now we can take you back to ancient Kemet in the Dendera zodiac, and I can show you how all the planets used to be named after ancient Kemetic deities, and all the moons and stars was all ancient Kemetic. And that's what we teach in the Saturday school. I'm not mad for them teaching their Roman perspective, but it's wrong if we don't teach the Kemetic Moorish perspective.
Islam, brother. Gratitude for sharing that, brother. And definitely I concur with everything you're saying, brother. It's powerful. We definitely gonna have to, we're gonna have to do this again, brother. We're gonna have to run back, do this again. I will put the let me say this. How can people reach out to you? For example, if somebody's in California in the West Coast, how can they link up with you? People looking for temples, especially, what do they need to do, brother?
They need to call me personally. My number is 415-745-4151. 415-745-4151. That's my personal cell number. And my email is mitchellmagic7@gmail. Because we want to make sure that people get the right orientation of Moorish science. I'm not going to sit up here and say I know everything, you know what I mean? But I've been around for 30 years, so I think I got a good grasp of it. Almost 30 years, I got a good grasp. And see, my whole goal is like this. I'm not your average Moorish leader, man. I'm not going to come in there and try to run your household, you know what I mean? It's like this. When we look at all society, it's a public demonstration and a private demonstration. You can even look at that on your dollar bill. You know what I mean? And so my thing is like this: worship under your own vine and fig tree privately. We ain't gonna never be in your house like some of these other Moorish leaders be trying to be Roman dictators and the police and all this and that and the third. But if your information hits the streets and we know that, oh man, you just acting raggedy and you making the temple look bad, that's when we have to intervene. But my main thing with Moorish science right now is people fail to realize that this is a self-help movement. It's for self-analyzation. And it says in our Circle 7, we don't need no middleman to get in touch with Allah. You know what I mean? Other people need a middleman to intersect with it, but we simply go up and place our hand right in Allah's hand, and we right there with Allah. There's a place to find Allah is in the heart. So listen to that still small voice and you're going to be all right. Just sit still. Some of these moles moving around too fast, but I just want to talk to the Moorish leaders out there right now, though. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to mention no names, but I love all y'all. I don't like some of y'all, but I love y'all, though. You feel me? Because y'all not my A alike and we can't be alike because we don't see alike. So we're not like each other, but I love you. What I propose to do, Mo, you got all these Moors claiming to be the supreme grand sheik of their body. And you got all of these different bodies right now, right? So my thing is, let's have a summit of the Supreme Grand Sheiks. If you got Supreme Grand Sheik in your name and you living around the country, all you got to do is come to the summit of Supreme Grand Sheiks. It's probably 7 of y'all that I can think of right now. Y'all know who y'all are. All 7 of y'all need to come to the summit of Supreme Grand Sheiks and form the Supreme Grand Council and bring all your members with you, and that will form the grand body. Islam, simple solution. Let's stop arguing, man.
Islam, brother. Islam. That's definitely a grand idea. I'm definitely in support of that too as well. Let's move things forward. So gratitude for sharing your contact info. We could put that stuff in the video description too. So, you know, for the Moors out there, link up with the brother. Contact him if you have any questions about the temple. This brother's a Grand Governor for the state of California, and for that district, you know, everything in that West Coast area. So reach out to the brother. Before we go ahead and close things out today, was there anything you wanted to say in closing?
You know, Mo, I have that poem. I would love to read that poem, though.
Islam, that's beautiful. That's a perfect way to close things out too. Let me bring that up on the screen for you, brother.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. So this particular poem right here, Mo, I think it captures, you know, like I say, I'm a poet. Sometimes it's easier for me to give a lecture. I could give a 3-minute lecture, I mean a 3-hour lecture, but I also can shrink it down into this poem, no Mo. So I think that everything I said this evening will be articulated and echoed in this poem. You know what I mean?
Islam.
And like I say, man, I don't know if you know, Mo, I used to be a rapper back in the day, though. You know what I mean? So writing lyrics and writing raps was like a pastime of mine. You know, hip hop culture is so important to us as far as an educational tool for our youngsters. And now that they've added the 5th element being knowledge, I can't say used to. I got Zulu bees, man, from the Zulu nation, if that means anything after the allegations towards Bambaataa. But I'm not Bambaataa, but I'm just showing you my history going back in the Zulu nation. I'm a North Star Zulu, so hip hop is real important, but I stopped rapping to become an educator because we can get that same message in the classroom that we can do through music. And everybody knows that I know children that can't even read, man, but they know every song by heart that come on the radio, which shows me they have the capacity to think and learn. So we use music as the way for them to first start reading sometimes.
Wow.
You know, so let me read this Moorish mirror, Mo, because what I want to propose to you more is I see you as the Moorish digital. You are the Moorish digital guy. You the digital Moorish guy, Mo, is what I'm trying to say, right?
Wow.
So we need to look at you as our guy, man. You know, anything that I do Moorishly, I hope you invite me back on the show because I got a bunch of stuff, but you are the Moorish guide, Mo. And I'd just like to thank you for being such a great resource for knowledge for Moors across the country, across the universe, because you are putting the profit out front, Mo, and you keep it 1000% real, which is why I only wanted to come talk to you. This is my internet debut, Mo, by the way. You know what I mean?
Islam, brother, it's an honor and gratitude. And you know, you're a great brother, For real, you are a great brother. You're powerful, and you know, it's my pleasure to have you here, and the platform is open to you, brother.
Wonderful, wonderful, Mo. So let me read this to you, Mo. This is called the Moorish Mirror, right? And this is really not a poem. It's more like a fairy tale. You know what I mean? So it'll go like this without any further ado. Moorish Mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the most Moorish after all? I said, mirror, mirror on the wall. Who will rise after the fall? Any, many, mighty Mo, catch a Negro by the toe. If he holler, let him go. Any, many, mighty Mo, what we fighting for? Moorish me, Moorish you, Moorish see, Moorish do. Moorish new jacks be nimble, Moorish old clicks be slick. Faithful Moors have eyes to see and ear to hear these tricks. Like little Mo, little Bo Peep. I said little Mo like little Bo Peep. If only I can get you to think slave chains are broken. Nationality is our link. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Don't be twiddle-dee, twiddle-dum. Love, truth, peace, and freedom. Simply for me, it's Act 3. To be lovers, not haters. Supreme Grand Sheiks, chairmans, governors, Grand Sheiks, and Grand Moderators, etc. Muslims and Asiatics hear my voice, reincarnated, incorporated, and prophet's choice. Calling all Allah's forces, calling all Allah's forces, calling all Allah's forces, calling all Allah's forces, and all the king's forces, and all Ali's men. Let's put the temple back together again, no matter what title or label. Come sit at the Moorish round table. Hickory, dickory, dock. Time never was when man was not on the hands of destiny's clock. Calling all ye, Temple, Washington, Great Seal, Asiatic states of North America, unite. The Moorish divine and national movement, fulfill prophecy with holy zeal. Mirror, 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 mirror on the wall. I am a reflection of you all. And my name is T. Mitchell L, man. Thank you, brother. You there, Mo? Uh-oh.
Islam, more. I'm here, brother. I didn't know I was on mute. Now, brother, gratitude for sharing. Thank you for coming on here and sharing what you are working on, sharing your projects with us, and sharing your wisdom. I appreciate it. That poem was on point and definitely relevant, speaking to, you know, what's really going on. You know, you got your finger on the pulse of the people. And I just want to say thank you again. I can't thank you enough, really, for, you know, for opening up to us and allowing us to be the, you know, the first platform, you know, that you know, came on to announce your work to the world, brother. It's an honor. You're a great brother. And, you know, I don't just say that to people. You know, I really think you have greatness in you. And I think that, you know, the nation needs you. You know, you're an asset to the nation. And, you know, it's just my pleasure to, you know, to be able to assist in any way to help you to get this message out to the people.
Well, I appreciate you. High gratitudes to you as well, Mo. And I just want to thank you for your greatness in having this platform so we can get the true Moorish message out there. Because a lot of times, I don't go on YouTube that much, but a lot of times when I hear people talk about Moorish science, it's not even familiar to me, man. You know what I mean? I'll be like, is this Moorish science? It'd be like, it's like a weird foreign language, a dialect that I can't even understand. And all we want to do, Mo, is put the prophet out front. I just want to be here to make sure that the temple don't become no masjid or no lodge. Islam. That's my main thing that I'm seeing right now is no disrespect. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing, man. I got a lot of Masonic friends. I love them all. You know what I mean? But some of Moors that are Masonic, I'll be hearing them arguing over, is he Prince Hall or Scottish Rite? But they both have a fez on. You know what I mean? I'm like, wait a minute. Take the fez off and take that folly over there back to the lodge. You know what I mean? As long as we got the fez on, we got unity. You know what I mean? And so I don't like the fact that, you know, this brother is an Asiatic by birth, but he has picked up some other cultural nuances as along his travel, you know what I mean? But don't bring that back into the temple. We know the foundation of most things, you know what I mean? We know that that's our science too, but put the prophet up front and let that be second. I see a lot of brothers in my life, you know what I mean, that tried to turn the temple into a lodge. And when I didn't want to join the lodge, they kicked me out the temple and I kept the prophet moving. So I'm saying, if you are a Mason, that's beautiful, you know what I mean? But put the prophet first and then put whatever lies you are second. If you are an al-Islam brother, you know what I mean? Because I got brothers in the temple, the Sunnis, and some of them Shiites, but they be bickering with each other though, you know what I mean? And so don't bring these outside elements into the temple that are foreign to us. You know what I mean? Be a Moor first, then be a Sunni or Shiite second, because we put nationality over everything. At that, I'll say Islam.
Islam, brother. Gratitude, you know, and definitely. I mean, we have something that is our own, you know, and all we have
Yes.
to do is come in and follow those divine instructions and work it. And I think, you know, that's what most people in the world have. They have their own culture, their own ways, you know, and all they have to do is come in and just work it. It works. It's practical. It's not really like you were saying earlier. It's not some mystical, you know, mysterious thing. Not saying there ain't no elements like that to it, but just saying it's practical. You know what the prophet did. We can make this stuff work. People are coming here right now and doing it. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then I want to just say this, man, you know what I mean? I just want to get a little loose for a little bit because I am at the house and I want to let people know, man, Moorish Science Temple of America, we great people though, you know what I mean? I see a lot of people that think the Moors are corny. You know, I got my the mother of my beautiful daughter. She told me, I don't want to be a monk because you always wear them funny clothes all the time. So, you know what I mean? You got people out there though, you know, this is what I want to ask Moors. Moors, loosen up a little bit, be fly, be charismatic, you know me, be fresh though, because you want to be attractive to the people out there, you know what I mean? A lot of these Moors, they too corny, they don't have no flavor, no charisma, no style. I'm gonna come back on here more and I'm going to really get loose. I didn't get loose tonight, Mo, but I want you to bring me back on here so I can really show out for the people, man, and let them see that Moors, we're exciting people. We're fun to be around, and we're not corny. We ain't, man. I ain't corny, Mo. You know, I'm one of the livest Mo's in America. I'm one of the coolest dudes in America, though. I just want y'all to. Oh, excuse me, Mo. I gotta go take a humble pill. You see that lower self coming out, Mo. So I better end this now because that dude is coming out. He
yeah,
waking up, Mo. He
yeah.
waking up, Mo.
I feel what you're saying, but you know that's keeping it Moorish, doing us,
Absolutely.
being us. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And we don't have to change things up or try to, you know, copy foreign ways or anything like that. Just being us, you know, whether is, you know, rocking whatever it is that you're wearing, you know, whatever your style is, all that flavor, everything, that's Moorish. Because, you know, that's the wonderful thing about it. We have an American prophet from North Carolina. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? You know, that's everything that we do already is Moorish. Moorish
Absolutely.
American, and it's unique. And it's, you know, people all over the world are already copying us. They've been doing it for the longest. So all we have to do is be true to who we are, you know, maybe leave some of the negativity, you know, beside, you know, back, you know, leave that stuff alone. But hey, other than that, man, it's all Moorish. So, you know, it's all love. And definitely I'm with you there. And you know, it's been once again, it's been amazing having you on here, brother, man. I appreciate you. Definitely for the people here, you know, to have any questions, anything, use the information in the video description to reach out to the brother, and also be on the lookout for this brother's books, his upcoming projects. They're coming out soon. So we will have the brother back on here again too. And then for the people in California in that West Coast area, make sure you reach out to the brother, get into the temple, link up, ask your questions, figure out what's really going on, because you're not going to get it on the internet. You know, there's so you get like 50,000 different answers on the internet. So come to the source. This is where it all came from. Islam. And brother, just in closing, if you got anything else to say, feel free to say it. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here, y'all.
First of all, I'd like to give praise to Allah, the governor of all worlds. I'd like to also give honors to the forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, you know what I mean, who's playing the role of John the Baptist in this day. Just to also let you know that we designed a curriculum. I didn't talk about that, but we have a curriculum that puts together the Moorish science and the Garvey lessons. We are in week 13. So, you know, we know that there's 7 years in a day. I think that's key 101, talking about 7 years in a day. If you divide 7 by 365, you're going to get 52 weeks. So we have 52 weeks in a year and we have 48 chapters. You know what I mean? So what we do is we created a curriculum where is in this week right now, it's week 13 of 2024. So we on chapter 13, lesson 13, and we demonstrate like that throughout the week. If you all want a curriculum, we got a bunch of curriculums where we can just send them to you so we can all be on the same page and thought throughout the week. In fact, our particular grand body, I'm gonna end it like this because I love our grand body and I miss all y'all moles. I miss y'all if y'all listening, man, because we had something very powerful. You know what I mean? And Bailey L, I'm gonna give honors to that mo as well. But baby, anytime when elder passes away, it's gonna be a little folly trying to find out who's gonna be the new leader. But at one point, we had something real powerful. Like I say, our government is going through some reform right now, but you know, when we look at what we have, Moors, we all got to come together, man. We have something so powerful, and each one of you Moors have a beautiful measure to bring. We just got to put our egos, check them at the door with the coats and the guns, you know what I mean? Check your ego like that, man. And then we need to just come together and put all the madness to the side because everybody has a place. There are no big I's or no little U's. I just want us to come together and be one big happy family, though, Mo, whatever that takes. I'm saying the solution is if you think you're a Supreme Grand Sheik, get your body together. And when we put out that invitation for the summit of the Supreme Grand Sheiks, please show up. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit on that panel. I would rather do the work with the youth because I know my position in my lane. You know, I'm the type of guy, when I'm in my lane, I'm on the Autobahn, I'm doing way 180 on the Autobahn, flashing my lights like move out my way, I'm coming. Whereas some wars are at the carnival playing bumper cars, bumping into each other on purpose. We don't like that. That's carnival. That's carnal thoughts, Mo. So at the end of the day, we just all want to come together. You know what I mean? Home office rule, like the prophet said it, though. You know, and if you think you are a Supreme Grand Sheik, and you have more than 20 members in your grand body, please come to the meeting. Because if you're a Supreme Grand Sheik and you only got 5 or 2 or 3 members, you're not a Supreme Grand Sheik. You know what I mean? So we're trying to form the council because where it is going right now is a detour. It's not where the prophet wanted to go. But now we got to meet ourselves on the road where we are and say, okay, it's 7 people proclaiming to be the Supreme Grand Sheik. Let that be the Supreme Grand Council. And you bring your grand body, then we form the larger grand body in the Grand Temple of North America. It's that easily, Mo.
Islam, brother. Yeah, that's very simple and to the point, man. And there's no reason why we can't get it done. No reason, you know. So we're gonna have to put some pressure on these brothers and to get things right. And let's go on and I'm with you.
Let me say this, Douglas. You know what we need, brother? We need more leaders like you. You know why I say you? Because you humble, bro, Mo, and you got it in your spirit. And then when I hear you talk, we can feel your spirit, Mo. We know you're not no tyrant. And you better than me, Mo. You know why?
Islam, brother.
You know why are you better than me, Mo?
Islam.
Because you are what I call a faithful, Mo. And why is that? Because you have fulfilled Act 7. And I ain't married yet, homie. You know what I mean?
Islam. Yeah.
And so lightweight, some people could say, oh, that brother Mitchell, he ain't this and that because he out of law because he ain't married. But I'm trying, Mo. I just can't find the right sister because a lot of these sisters, I don't know if they're gadding abroad or if they're broads gadding.
Islam, boy.
So I'm trying to find whether they ain't gadding abroad or not abroad, gadding around. So you pray for me, Mo, because like I want to be like you, Mo. Here's the main thing in the Moorish Science Temple America. It's very important to be married, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's very, very important to find that other half of yourself. And that's why I love the temple, because it promotes marriage. You know what I mean? It promotes the good bond between man and woman and have them come together and to be really helpmates, soulmates, and get that thing together. So that's why I honor you, Mo, because I'm still trying to get to your level. But it's very, very important for us to have a significant other that's got our back and supports our cause. And as Moorish men, is so important when we can get a sister that appreciates us as going on this Moorish journey. You know what I mean? So high honors to you for that, Mo.
Oh, gratitude, brother. I honor you as well. And thanks for bringing up that topic, man. You know, that's really important and key. You know, I see, or at least I think I understand the divine wisdom behind that with the prophet, you know, incorporating that, making that marriage, you know, a part of our religion, our lifestyle. We can't really build a successful nation, you know, without that. We have to be able to get along with each other, you know, understands the ups and downs of life and all of those things, but still understand it. You know, we have a legacy to build. We got to fight. We got to get through this together. You know, no matter what happens, we going to get through this together, you know? And I think, you know, in the past, even when the prophet was bringing this to our people in the 1920s, they understood it. You know, the brothers and sisters were married. So it's like, wow, he really was on point. We need it right now. We need it now more than we did then. You know?
Absolutely.
So it's even more key now. And more, I believe we're going to figure it out because we have good Moors like you who are here, who are leading the way, you know? And I appreciate you. I honor you. And honors to all the Moors out there, all your brothers and sisters out there in California. You Moors are doing a great job. You Moors are beautiful. We love you all. And it's been amazing having you on here, brother, man. This is a powerful build. And we're going to have you back on here again, brother.
Sir.
All right, Islam. So, yeah.
Islam.
Everybody here watching, make sure you hit like and share. Use that info in the description to reach out to the brother. Peace and love, Moors.
It's chapter 7. Mind of an Asiatic, homie. Yo. See, any other time, I wouldn't pay you any mind. Put my best foot forward in every verse and every line. I used to dream, I used to pray about the day that I get signed into the truth. About this business just blew my mind. I swear to God, I used to think all I needed was a skill. High verse, catchy hook, dope look, then get a deal. I used to love the rock a sold out show just for the thrill until the real was revealed to my spirit like Jabril. I'm iconic.
Peace to the gods. Wings spread wide, coming through angelic. Frankincense and myrrh be the essence, you can smell it. Rocking different color stones, niggas think I'm psychedelic. Asiatics can never be gods, let them tell it. Cosmetically groomed, suede blazer with suede shoes. Smooth, don't have to prove that I paid dues. My track record speaks for itself. You hear the language, the dignity you see me with now. Came in the game with, I hang with imperial nobles, wine Kenobis, light bodies, etherically mobile, spiritual OGs, riding around.
Yeah. All praise due to Allah, and honors to the last prophet in these days and times. That's Drew Ali. 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 It ain't no question where these lessons are coming from. In North Mex, I'm still flexing, dancing to the drums. They going dumb like, bruh, we ain't think you come from out of heaven, throw up the 7, sliding through the slums. Go one.
Every day, billions of searches are conducted online, therefore it is critical that your company stands out to the small percentage of clients who are essential to your business. Our team of local digital marketing consultants and SEO experts is eager to help your company achieve its goals through a consultative approach, top Google rankings, and collaboration with industry experts. Here at Adept Marketing Solutions, we stand for integrity, dedication, ingenuity, and results. We know how to navigate the ever-changing digital landscape and what brands must do to succeed. Visit our website to see what we can do to help you reach your goals.
CareMore is a non-profit organization focused on providing goods and services to families and individuals in our underfunded communities in Central Ohio. We have created an online presence to reach members of our Central Ohio communities, as well as local events and meetings to give away supplies and donations. throughout the city all year long. Visit our website to learn more and to send a donation.
Highest quality handmade fezzes. Crafted fez with the finest wool, complete with tassel and leather sweatband. Wear the national headdress of Moorish Americans with pride and respect. 3XL size fez is a comfortable fit for brothers with dreadlocks. Shipping worldwide. Go to moorishfez.com to order.
Don't let your history start at slavery. Join with Moorish Science Temple, a lawfully chartered Islamic organization, and proclaim your nationality while helping us uplift fallen humanity. Founded by American prophet Noble Drew Ali and consistently promoted plans for the betterment of humankind. We are located in Columbus, Ohio. Visit our website www.moorishamericans.com and follow us on social media. We hold live meetings on Zoom every Friday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give us a call at 614-407-4394 if you would like to join or send donations to help us uplift fallen humanity.
Fez Caps blends Moorish style with modern streetwear hats. The cutting-edge design features Moorish symbols with a silk tassel on the dome of the cap. More than just a fashion statement, Fez Caps represents something powerful and ancient within you. Go to fezcaps.com to order your Fez Cap now.